Good morning and welcome to Yoga with Tanya. I'm Tanya, and actually, I should say gentle yoga with Tanya because that is always our goal, to be gentle with ourselves, to be gentle with our body, to be gentle with our mind, and to be gentle with those around us. Before we get started, just a few things. So, I do have with me a folded blanket. I do like to sit on this when we are doing some of our seated poses, and we will begin in a seated pose here today. So if you do need that little bit of an extra lift, just go ahead and grab a blanket, or you can even do a pillow. It depends on what your comfort level is here. I just like a little bit, and you just want to make sure that you're even for ball. Just puts you in a really nice position to do some of the things we're going to do. The other thing is that we are going to go to some standing poses during our practice. So if you need a little bit of extra boost getting up from a seated position, please make sure that you have blocks on hand or a chair on hand that doesn't roll, or maybe just a nice sturdy wall nearby. All right, not enough talking from me. Well, that won't be the all talking from me, a lot. But let's get started. Let's start rubbing our hands here. Just a nice breath. And as you're rubbing your hands and bringing some warmth here, let's just consider what your intention might be for class today. Maybe you have a word that you like to use that informs your movements or anchors your movements, or maybe it's a goal of how you want to feel, or something that you want to have accomplished during our time here today. Whatever it is for you, just give that word or thought or phrase some time to live in your head here. And then release, and we're going to just do a very gentle squeeze and release. It's not even actually a squeeze, it's more just like a and release. It's an official yoga term, by the way. Just a nice little, from the base of your skull, working your way to the tops of your shoulders, just the starting points of our release here this morning. It's for most of us, I would say, it's probably been a pretty highly emotional time and anxious time. We want to just make sure that we're maintaining our balance emotionally and physically. And we're going to do that today by just releasing. So, just a few more, just very gentle, just awakening, releasing. So let's just give your hands a nice little shake, like you're just shaking a little bit of water from them. Put our pinkies together. We're going to breathe in. I'm going to go all the way up here. If that's not okay for you, if that's too high for you to reach, that's okay. You can just go right here. That's fine too. The important thing here is that we're getting our breath. We're thinking about how we're using our breath here, okay? So let's pinkies together, breathe in. And as you exhale, just release those fingertips from the shoulder blades all the way to your collarbone. It's a gentle, it's not even really a pressure, it's just more like a gentle brush, okay? We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale. And as you exhale, bring it on forward. Right. Nice. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Let's do a little bit of a massage here. So we're just going to take your hand and we're just going to continue what we started at the base of our skull down to our shoulders. But we're going to do it right here around. I'm starting with my right hand going to my left shoulder. So I'm not mirroring you on this. And you're just as far back as you can reach. If this is where you're comfortable reaching today, then that's great. That's still going to give you a really, really great moment here to start dissolving these tensions that we have. But if you can reach back a little further, back towards where your shoulder blade is, back shoulder area, that's awesome too. And just remember to breathe. This feels so good that sometimes I realize I'm holding my breath. So make sure that you're not holding your breath and you're still doing that really nice, steady inhale and exhale as you're very gently squeezing and releasing here around your shoulder. Back side, front, right here. All just being kind to yourself. Okay? And then let's shake that out and do the other side. And again, as far back as you can reach is great. And by that I mean if this is as far as you can reach, perfect. And if you can go back a little farther, that's perfect too. Just very gentle, awakening, releasing, preparing. Very nice. Remembering to breathe, steady in, steady out. Beautiful. All right, let's do some shoulder rolls. So the choices here, because there's always choices. You can keep your hands just relaxed on your knees and just rolling your shoulders in this way. Or what I will be doing, I'm going to be putting my hands on my shoulders and making little circles with my elbows here. Just like this, very easy. If you are doing this version with your fingertips on your shoulders, you do want to make sure that you're not doing this, right? We want to make sure that our shoulders are out. And we're just doing little circles at first, and if you're comfortable and it's okay for you, you can start making these big circles. And the whole time you're doing this, you're breathing steady in and steady out. Really moving that abdomen on the inhale and releasing it on the exhale. And it's okay to smile through this whole practice today. This is not serious business, my friends. This is just good stuff. So let's stop that motion here and we're going to switch directions. Maybe remember spiral graph. Super fun little drawing thing. And you can gradually make those circles bigger if it's comfortable for you. You should really just start to feel this, how nice that release feels. Breathing in and out, super steady. We're just going to let this motion come to a pause here. And we are going to do a little bit of a joy breath, my version of a joy breath. So this is just a sequence. We're going to do it several times. So if the first few times you're still thinking about where am I inhaling, where am I exhaling, no worries. We're going to do it several times so that your body becomes accustomed to the pattern. And again, only go as high as you are comfortable. At some point, we are going to raise our arms up over our head. And if that's not okay for you, just raise them as far as you're comfortable. Okay? The focus here will be on your inhale and your exhale. So with that being said, let's clasp your hands underneath your chin, elbows out. We're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck that belly in, chin to your chest, and stretch forward. And then on your next inhale, arms go up if it's okay for you. Releasing down on the exhale. This is a nice long exhale with, of course, an option. You can either end your hands here, or you can grab your wrists behind your back and one last little stretch, chest out. Then when you inhale again, hands to your center, and then exhale to your heart. Okay, so let's do that again, nice and slow. Inhale up. Exhale, hands out, chin to chest, pelvic tilt. Inhale, teeth unclenched, shoulders down. And then exhale, slow and steady, stopping here or reaching behind for that last little squeeze. And then inhale to the front. Exhale to your heart. Do it again. I'll talk it through one more time, and then the last 2 times we do it, we'll do it in silence with just you using your breath as your guide. So inhale up. Exhale, chin to chest. Squeeze that belly in. Hands out. Inhale up. Shoulders down. Teeth unclenched. Exhale, release. Reaching behind if it's okay for you. So let's do that 2 more times at your own pace. Pace. Did I say pace? At your own pace. I'm just going to make up words today. At your own pace. Here we go. Inhale up. One more time. Very nice. Good job. So I'm putting my hands right here in my crease here. I'm just gonna rock. Okay. One of the reasons I do that is so that I make sure that I feel my whole leg moving when I'm doing this. It's these little moments that really make our practice complete. And I make sure that I'm not just moving my knees because that doesn't really release anything. It gives your knees a little wiggle, but it doesn't really release anything. So we want to make sure that we're releasing the whole kitten, so to speak. All right, let's do some rotations here with our ankles, going in whichever direction you would like. Breathing as you do. This is another one where I tend to hold breath because we're not thinking about the breath, we're thinking about the rotation of the ankle. So you do want to make sure that you're still breathing. And then switch directions. Whichever direction you were going before, just switch the way you're rotating. Very nice. And now we're going to exhale, point the toes. Inhale, point them up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Very nice. Good job. So this time when we breathe up, so exhale forward. When you inhale up, I want you to squeeze the muscles of your legs, right? So we're going to squeeze calves, thighs, and then our glutes back here. Ready? So exhale. Now inhale and squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Let's do it again. Inhale. Squeeze those calves. Squeeze the muscles right behind your knees, your thighs, your glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze your abdomen. And release. One more time like that. Inhale. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Very nice. This last time we're going to do it, we're going to squeeze. We're going to hold on the exhale. So we're still squeezing when we exhale. Okay, so here we go. Inhale. Squeeze everything. Stomach included. And then as you exhale, keep that squeeze. Squeeze more if you can. Think about your knees. Think about those muscles right here behind. Give those a nice squeeze. As you exhale, inhale, still squeezing. More, 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 more. And then this time when you exhale, release it all. Right? Okay, so let's take a little round angle pose here. Your feet will go together. How far or how close is your comfort level? I like mine right about here. And then you just want to make sure that you have a nice, if you are sitting on a blanket, that you have a nice even sit here, and that one side isn't higher than the other one. Make sure there's a nice balance here because we are going to go forward. So let's breathe in. And as you exhale, just come forward a little bit. Just sort of hinging from your hip creases here. And then inhale up. And exhale forward. Inhale up. And this time when you exhale, if it's okay for you to release all the way down, letting your neck go, then go ahead and do that. If that doesn't feel right for you, if that creates too much tension back here, you can release just this far. Or if you have a chair in front of you, perhaps you can lean forward to the chair. Or if you have a pillow or a block or something, you can rest your head on that as well. But if you are okay to release all the way, go for it. Breathing here. And just noticing how this feels. And see if you can creep your fingers forward and increase that stretch a little bit. And just notice if on the exhale you are moving forward a little bit here. You might not be, but just notice if you are. And just releasing your head if you can, if it's okay for you. One more breath here. And as you inhale, very, very carefully, work your way back towards your center, and you want to make sure that your head is the very last thing to come up. Just slowly unwind that spine, give those shoulders a nice little roll here. We are going to go into a little bit of a seated twist. I'm going to take this out from underneath my bum because I don't like the way it feels when I do it on the twist. Your comfort level here. But we are going to, you have a couple choices. You can stretch your legs out, okay? You take your right leg, bring it over your left, and you can grab hold here of your right leg and take your right hand and place it behind your hip, okay? If you would like, you can also do this and sit this way. If you are sitting this way, please, please, please make sure that your sit bones are completely flush with your mat, or if you are still sitting on a blanket, that it's completely flat on your blanket. You really want to make sure that if you are folded in this way, that you are completely even here, okay? So we're going to twist here. What I want you to do actually is inhale, follow the path of your fingertips as you twist, and let that back hand rest right behind your hips. And you can pull this leg in a little more if you want. Breathing here. And as you exhale, notice if your body is twisting just a little bit more. It might not be, but just notice if it feels like it is. Just breathing here. Twists are a great way to help us release any kind of stress that we have. It's as if they're wringing the stress out, right, like a sponge. So we're twisting And breathing. Breathing in, raise that back hand, follow the path of your fingertips. And as you untwist here, there's this fresh flow. Right? Creating that nice moment there. So we are going to go to the other side. Again, you can keep one leg straight. You can do it this way and just wrap here. Or if you are more comfortable, you can do this. But again, if you are doing this, please, please, please make sure that you are completely balanced. Okay? So go wrap here, inhale, follow the path of your fingertips. Don't hit the wall if there's a wall too close. Hand behind your head, so we're going to breathe here. Just looking towards that back wall. Over your left shoulder. You can bring the leg in a little more if you want. You should feel that nice stretch. And breathing. And on your next inhale, raise that back hand. Follow the path of your fingertips. And then slowly unwind. Let's give a little shake. All right, we are going to go into a cat-cow table pose. If your wrists are feeling very tender and you feel like that might not be the right choice for you right now, go ahead and do it seated. We'll do a quick version of it so that you can see what that would look like. So when we do cat-cow, we exhale first, tucking in, chin to chest, squeezing your abdomen here, your pelvic tilts a little bit. And then when you inhale, you release it all. So your chin comes up, your chest comes forward. Okay, and then back to your exhale. It's like you're creating this beautiful wave with your body. And then you inhale. Make sure your teeth are unclenched and you're just really opening up here in your chest on that inhale. So again, we are going to go to a table version of cat-cow, but if you're not comfortable with that, please do the one that we just did, seated. So if you are joining me in this way, please just do a quick position check here. Make sure that your hips are over your knees and that your shoulders are above your wrists and you're giving yourself a really nice big chest. Okay, so let's exhale here, tucking in. And then inhale forward. So nice, right? And then exhale, tucking. Inhale forward. Smiling, teeth are unclenched. This is such a good stretch for your back. Exhale. And inhale when you're ready. Nice and steady. We're not in any rush. Just let your body just completely inform the slowness and the steadiness of this exhale. One more exhale. And then this time when you inhale, just come to neutral. We're going to exhale and look over your shoulder as if you're trying to see that hip. And then inhale to the center. And exhale, looking over to your other side. Inhale. Exhale again. Inhale to center. Exhale, looking over. Inhale to center. One more time each side. Exhale, looking over your shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, last time. And inhale back to center. Let's come back. Sit back on those heels if you can. We just spent a little bit of time on our wrists, so let's just do some wrist rolls, just loosening them up a little bit. And switching directions. Go ahead and open and close those fingers. Little spirit finger action. Nice. And then just a little shake. So from here, let's widen your stance a little bit. So my knees actually are out off my mat. My big toes are connected back there. And we are going to go forward here. So if you have some knee tenderness today, you can put a blanket behind here. And if you are not comfortable coming all the way down there, I'll show you what we're going to end up here. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can put your hand here on your fist. Or if you do have your handy dandy blanket, you can fold that till it's in a height that you like, and you can put your head on there too. So lots and lots of choices for you. But what we're going to do is just release those arms forward, let your head come to your mat, and just feel your hips sink back into this pose and just breathe here. And just notice as you're inhaling how that inhale feels on your lower back here. You can even put a hand here for a second. And just note the expansion back here as you inhale. And then the release as you exhale. You can crawl your fingers more forward if you want. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, just come up for a second on your elbows here. So there's no pressure on your wrists, you're on your elbows. And we're going to do a thread the needle. So you're going to take your right hand and let it slide. And you can leave your hand here or you can stretch it. It's your call. We're going to be here for several breaths. If this is too much, if it doesn't feel good, you can go back to the center pose that we just did. You don't have to thread if you're not comfortable doing so. But if you are, just let your body just breathe here and sink into how this feels. It's a really nice stretch on the side. And you can let your eyes close if you want. You can keep them open if you want. is so nice. Let's take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, just very, very gently back to center. We're going to take a breath here. And then take your left hand and thread it underneath your right shoulder. Let your left shoulder connect with the mat, the left side of your head. And just breathe here. You can be palms up or palms down, however you're comfortable. Couple more breaths here, nice and full. Noticing how your body feels now. Noticing if you've gotten closer to the mat as you release with each breath. And whatever your next inhale is, just go ahead and come back to center here. Take a breath here. And then as you inhale, nice and easy again, making sure that you're unwinding that spine and that your head is the last thing to rise. Feels so good. We are going to come to a standing pose now. So if you would like to go into like a down dog and a walk forward and an up, go for it. If you need a little help and you have a wall here, come up in whatever way feels safe for you. I am just going to come into a squat here. However you are coming up, please, very slowly again, make sure that your head is the last thing to unwind. We want to make sure that we're not getting a nice big head rush here. Something to avoid, yeah? Ooh, feels good. Now that we're standing, let's get some kinks out a little bit. Let's do a little shaking here. Let's walk up on the tops of your toes and on your tippy toes if it's okay for you. If you need to hold a wall for balance, that's fine. Go on your heels. Very nice. Looks good. All right, let's pat the knees here. It's actually more thighs. I said knee, but it's really I'm patting my thigh. Just making sure we are sort of all systems go here, waking every part of our being up. Everything is flowing nicely. Very nice. Let's stop this, and then we're going to go elbow movement here. Keeping yourself steady. If you need to, if this one is one that tries your balance and you have a chair nearby, you can just do this, right? Holding the chair or turning it so it's yours and making it safe. That's the goal here, okay? So a couple more, however you're choosing to do it. Very nice. Let's stop that motion. We are going to do some pats. So I would like to make sure that your hands are in a nice little cup here. We're just going to start using your right hand. I'm not mirroring on this one. Going over your left shoulder, as back as far as you're comfortable. And while you're doing this, two things to make sure. One, that you're breathing. And two, that your knees aren't locked. You want to make sure that your knees still have a nice bend, that we're not standing so stiff and straight that our knees are locked. So as you're patting, just keep those things in mind. Going up around the shoulder. Then we're going to go down the arm. Right there. We've got a nice cluster of lymph there. We want to make sure that those guys are awake, doing their job. Keeping all things clear for us. We're going to work our way to the other side. And again, it's not a slap. You're gently patting, right? So your hand is cupped, and you'll hear it more like a thud than a slap. If you're slapping yourself, it's probably not very comfortable for you. So you might want to just change how you're using your hand here. Go ahead and go all the way down the arm. And again, in this area, nice little cluster that likes to be encouraged to move. Right? We want to move our lymph system. We want to make sure it's flowing steadily so we don't get any backups. It's getting rid of what we don't need. Very nice. So we're going to take just the fingertip and go across your sternum here. And then going down, just right down this area. Nice little cluster in here too. Then we're going to take both hands, pinching them together, and just go right around your rib cage. Just activating, releasing, encouraging, and just making sure everything is flowing as we would like it to be, as much as we possibly can. And then just shake that out. We're going to do some little twists here. So my feet are pretty wide apart. I'm just going to twist my body like this. Looking back so I can see my back heel. If that's too much and you want to just do it here, that's okay too. You're still getting a bit of a release. You do want to make sure that they have a little bit of a give, a little bit of a bend. My gaze is towards the floor, but you can gaze up too if that's easier for you. Just a couple more and let's let that motion stop. Alright, so from here, we're going to take a nice deep breath. And let it down. We're going to do two more just like that. Breathing in. And down. One more time like that, and then we're going to change it up a little bit. So breathing in. Chest out. Our back is arched just a little bit, and then release. Nice. So this time we're going to add a little bit of a hug to it. Who doesn't want a hug, right? And there's two choices. Of course. I'm all about choices. When you're, we'll do this, and then you can wrap like this and just bend a little bit. If it's okay for you to go all the way over, then when you're wrapping, you can squat and release all the way down. But again, if you feel any kind of tenderness or pain or anything, if there's a fragility here, you want to make sure that you're just doing this version. Both are amazing. Both will give you great benefits, but only if you're doing them in the way that suits your body. Okay. So what I'm doing may look very different than what you're doing, and that is perfect. That's how it should be. Okay, so let's take a nice shoulder roll down to reset. Knees are bent. We're going to inhale. I call these my angel arms. Out, chin up, chest out. And then when you exhale, just wrap your arms around and either squat a little or release completely. And then inhale, arms out, teeth unclenched, chest forward, and then release opposite hand. The hand you didn't have on top before wraps you for a hug, and you either squat or release all the way. Inhale up. Nice, big, beautiful open arms, welcoming all this fresh energy in. And then give yourself a comforting hug on the exhale. Inhale up. Beautiful arms, shoulder blades coming towards each other, chin up, jaw loose, and then exhale, other arm over the top. Release. And when you're ready, inhale. Exhale, hug. Inhale up. Chest out, fresh. And release, other hand hug. Inhale. Do one more time each side at your own pace. And then just meet me back here in neutral. Whew. Feels good. All right, my friends. So from here, let's just take a second and do mountain pose. We've done a lot of breathing, we've done a lot of twisting, and I just want to take stock on how you're feeling and what parts of your body are feeling like right now. So I have my feet about maybe width apart, not too far. I have my hands out. If that's not comfortable for you, and sometimes that puts the shoulders are down, teeth are unclenched, just let your eyes close. We're going to breathe here nice and steady. And just take stock. Think about your feet. Think about how they're placed on your mat or on your floor. If there's an evenness there, a steadiness. And just notice how they feel. And then slowly work your way up your body, noting how each part of your body feels. Is anything tingling? Does anything feel stronger? Or does anything maybe feel like it's a little weaker or tired? Just noting. How is your breath? Is it steady? And just open your eyes. I'm going to take a nice wide stance. It's goddess time, my friends. So I have my feet in a little bit of a turnout here. And just for the first time when we go down, I want you to put one hand on your belly, one hand on your lower back, and do a pelvic tilt. Okay, we're going to inhale here. And as you exhale, you're just going to let your body sink. Right? And the reason we're holding here is so that you can make sure you feel that pelvic tilt. You want to make sure that you don't feel your body doing this. You want to feel it squeezing in. So inhale up and release. The other thing to think about are your knees. You want to make sure that they're not sinking in on you at all and that they're staying out nice, right? Nice and strong here. And that your knee isn't doing that sway, right? You want to make sure it's not doing this kind of a sway away from your ankle and that it's directly over your ankle bone, okay? Even with a little bit of turnout, you want to make sure that everything is safe. And then if it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. If you're not able to go down this, but you're able to go here, that's amazing. That's what you should do because that's what your body is saying, this is good for me, okay? So let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale and go down only as far as you feel comfortable. Bring that pelvis in. Nice tilt. And then inhale up. You stay here for a couple of breaths. And I just have my hands here relaxed. We're not going to do anything with our arms this time. I'm going to let them take a little vacation. Breathing here. Thinking about the strength of your thighs here, those quads, really strengthening that connection. Here, squeezing those glutes, pelvic tilt, and then on your next inhale, bring it up. Very nice shoulder reset here. Just roll them a little bit. Okay, so this time when we go down, we're going to start with your right arm, and you're just going to do some little side stretch, okay? So we're going to inhale, exhale down, look towards your arm if you want, if that feels okay for you. Just breathing here, inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper, thinking about where your knees are, about how strong you feel right now. One more breath. And on your next inhale, release. And nice. You do the left arm now. Ready? So inhale. Exhale. That arm come up. Go ahead and turn and look towards, and you want to make sure you're not going too far forward, right? You want to keep that arm in that great spot there. Breathing here, nice and strong, everything squeezed, everything strong, steady, breathing. If you need to come out a breath before I do, that's great. Do what your body is telling you to do. One more breath here, and on the next inhale, release. Love that one of my guys, you guys. It's nice. Just give it a little shake. We are going to go back down to the mat. So however it's easy for you to get down, if you want to do a little bit of a flow here and go into a down dog and then end up on the mat, that's fine. If you need to just kind of walk down the wall, that's fine too. I'm just going to inhale here, do a little mini swan dive, bending, and then coming to seated. Okay. Straighten the mat. So we're going to do a couple of poses here, so a little more breathing, and then we'll go into our lovely Shavasana. So from here, let's release down. Okay, bring your knees up, and we're just going to rotate. Just a nice little sacral massage. Feels so good. Nice little release here. Switch directions. Breathing steadily. And then let's stop that motion. Fingertips facing your feet. We're going to inhale. And as you exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. And as you inhale, push them away. Exhale in. Inhale away. Exhale in. Inhale away. This time when you exhale in, raise your head up a little bit too. Keeping your chin, you should have a nice little space between your chin and your neck here. And then when you inhale, release everything back down and away. And then exhale up, as if you're going to bring your nose to your knee. And then inhale, release. One more time like that. Exhale up. And inhale, release. This time just exhale naturally. Inhale, release. Exhale, raise your feet to the ceiling or the sky. Inhale, knees bend. Exhale, knees in. Again, inhale away. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale in. This time we're going to hold our legs when they're in the straightened position. So inhale away. Exhale, straighten. And then we're going to hold here. I'm releasing my hands to the mat. If having your legs straight up doesn't feel okay for you, please go ahead and just bend them. That's okay too. You're still, again, getting a great benefit from this pose. You're still letting all of this flow. Okay? Breathing here, nice and steady. You can even put your hand on your abdomen and notice the rise and the fall as you're breathing. 2 more breaths here. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, just let your feet come to your mat. Beautiful. Let's breathe here. And as you exhale, let your knees come together and pelvic tilt. I have my arms up in goalpost arms. If it's okay for you, please do that. But if not, you can leave them down here too. This is just another way of engaging. So you've exhaled here. You're going to inhale, put your feet together, let your knees come apart. And then exhale, knees together, pelvic tilt. And then inhale, feet together, knees apart. Exhale, knees together, pelvic tilt. Inhale, feet together, knees apart. Last exhale like this. Exhale, knees together, pelvic tilt. And this time when you get into your inhale pose, we're going to stay there for a few breaths. So feet together on your inhale, knees apart. And we're just going to breathe here. And you can release the arms down to your abdomen if you'd like. You don't have to keep them up. Just going to breathe here for a few more breaths. And then one more thing before we go into Shavasana. I want to intentionally bring some tension to our body and intentionally release it, so that when we find ourselves in our daily life tensing, we can consciously understand that release, that feeling. Okay? So we'll practice like this. So laying down, we're going to do a little bit what we did earlier where we breathe on our inhale. You're going to squeeze all your muscles. So your toes point towards the ceiling. You're squeezing your calves, your thighs, your glutes. You're going to squeeze and bring tension here into your abdomen, into your neck. You want to clench those teeth. I've been saying all class, don't clench your teeth. Clench a clench a clench this time. Really clench your fists, everything. Squeeze your face. We're just going to clench everything. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then on your exhale, release with a really big sigh. Very good. Let's do that again. Inhale, squeeze everything. Everything is clenched. Everything is tight. Everything is stretched. Your teeth, your eyes, your fists. It's all just And then when you're ready to release with a big sigh. Feels better already, but let's do it one more time. You're going to squeeze everything. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You can bring your hands up like this if you want. Just increase squeezing everything. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze so much that you're lifting up off the floor, and then release. You know, I said one more time, but I think this time I mean one more time. Let's do it again. Ready? And we are going to lift off the floor again. Ready? So let's breathe in, squeezing everything. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lift up a little bit if you can. Just everything is so squeezed and tight. And then when you're ready to release, make it the biggest release ever. And then just give yourself a second here and notice how that feels. How your fingers feel, toes. So let's get ready for Shavasana, our resting pose. So for this, you do want to be either laying down, or you can do this from a chair if that's more comfortable for you. If you do need support, a pillow or something underneath your knees, this would be a great time to get it. If your back, this is important, if your lower back is not completely flat with the mat, then you can keep your knees up like this, or you can put a little blanket underneath there, like that. It's right under here, just to make sure that you have a nice little support there and you're in the most comfortable position you can be in, okay? So once we get settled here, place your hand on your belly, and we're going to do a little bit of guided breathing before we go into our last few moments of rest. So let's breathe in for a count of 4. We'll hold, and then we'll release for a count of 4. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, and release. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, and release. 2, 3, 4. Hold, and release. 2, 3, 4. Connecting body and breath to the 6. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold, and release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Allowing your hand to come back to the mat, and allowing your breath to become natural. Close your eyes, remove eyeglasses if you have them, and just breathe here, noting the steady in and the steady out. Let your thoughts go towards your toes, your ankles. Notice how they feel on the mat. Release any residual tension or strain that you may feel, and give me permission to relax. Hands, knees, and body. Allow them to just sink into this space. Release, relax. Hips, abdomen, chest, and shoulders. Give just melt into this space, your fingers, your chin, your jaw. Everything is allowed at this time to just relax. Your eyes are softly closed, and your whole body has permission, your whole being has permission to be comfortable in this safe, loving space that you created, that you cultivated with your practice here today. Let your body just become one with your mat in this space, to just sink in and just exist in the steadiness of the breath in and out. Turning your attention to that beautiful space between your brows, and allow yourself to see inward and to give permission to all parts of you inside to relax, feel comfortable, feel peaceful, to feel love, to release any thoughts or feelings that no longer serve you, that take away from this comfort and this sense of well-being that you've cultivated, that you've created. Kindness, a strength built from tenderness, and it travels through each part of your body, nurturing and nourishing as it goes, steadying, creating a sense of well-being for you that is so complete that it allows you to radiate all those needs, this genuine kindness, this genuine peace. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you are noticing how your body feels in this space and how your inner being feels, allow a smile to spread across your face. And gently allow movement in your feet. Open and close your hands. And let your body stretch in any way that feels good for you. Roll your head from side to side slowly. And bring your knees into your chest. And if it's okay for you, you can even just gently roll here too. And then when you get to whatever side feels strongest for you today, roll all the way over And just pause for a brief moment, just allowing the benefits of your practice. One last moment to absorb into your body. And on your next inhale, join me in seated cross-legged pose. Just take a second here to reflect on what your intent was for class today, what you thought or what you felt, or what you intended to think or feel, or whatever it was that you set for your time here today. Just give yourself a second to realize how that is now. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I'm going to send you on your way with Namaste. But please close with any phrase that means something for you and that reflects